Okay, so we continue our lecture here. There are some obstructions here, right? So I am talking about the first here. Okay, so here in this figure, the first figure, right? So it says that according to the criteria, the depth of exploration should be at least 1.5 multiplied by b, means this b means width of the footing, right? It at least 1.5 multiplied by width of footing for the square one, right? While we are talking about the strip footing, right? So in the case of strip footing, the minimum depth of exploration should be 3b, right? Double of the size of the square footing, right? So if the footings are closely spaced while result in overlapping of the stress zones, the whole loaded area act as a rough foundations, right? Rough foundation means there are more than two foundations are provided below the ground, right? So in that case, the in that case of rough foundation, right, the depth of boring should be at least 1.5 times the width of the entire loaded area, which will be shown in this figure b, right, which is footing placed at a close interval, as you can see that 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So there are four types of foundation, and it is this group of foundation is also known as a rough foundation. So the minimum depth of exploration should be at least 1.5 multiplied by the width of the foundation, width of the footing, right? And the footing width of the footing is taken as uh, starting from this first foundation and ending with this last foundation, right? Okay, so in case of raft foundation, right, if the depth of borehole should be at least 1.5 times the width of the raft, right? Here as you can see that, right? Okay, so so here, if there are two types of cases of raft foundation, if there are two or more supports are given in the structure, so it is acted as a raft foundation, right? While already raft foundation is given to the structure, the depth of borehole should be equal to 1.5 times the width of the raft, as you can see that in the figure, right? In the case of pile foundation, the depth of exploration below the tip of bearing piles is kept at least 1.5 times the width of the pile group, right? Also, however, in case of friction pipes, right, the depth of exploration is taken 1.5 times the width of the pile group measured from the lower third point. As you can see in the last figure, which is pile foundation in friction pile, right? So, all the start of the work of depth of exploration may be taken uh, as given in the table. I can show you that. Okay. So there are different types of foundation, and their depth of exploration is varies with the varying in the different types of foundation, right? So first one is isolated spread footing or raft or adjacent footing with a clear spacing equal to or greater than 4 times the width, so that the depth of exploration is 1.5 times the width. Second type of foundation is adjacent footing with clear spacing less than twice the width, 1.5 times the length, right? Third one is the adjacent row of footing. In that case, first case is with clear spacings between rows less than twice the width. So in that case, depth of exploration is 4.5 times the width. When the clear spacing between rows greater than the twice of the width, then the depth of foundation is 3 times of the width. And last case is width clear spacing between rows greater than or equal to the 4 times of the width, then we take the depth of exploration is 1.5 times the width, right? In next case, pile and well foundation, for that type of foundations, The depth of exploration should be 1.5 times the width of the structure from bearing level, which is from toe of the pie or bottom of the well. For road cut type foundation, the depth of acceleration equal to the bottom width of the cut. And last is whenever there is a fill type of foundation, the depth of exploration is 2 meters below the ground level or equal to the height of the fill, whichever is greater, right? A second point is lateral extent of exploration. Laterals means horizontal, right? So the lateral extent of exploration and the spacing of boreholes mainly depends on the variation of strata in the horizontal direction, right? The exploration should be extensive so as to reveal the major changes in the properties of the subsurface strata, right? So for a small, here we're talking about the case 1.23, right? About this case, for small and less important buildings, even one borehole or a trial pit in the center may sufficient, right? But for compact building covering an area of about zero point 0.4 hectares, which is also 4,000 meters square, there should be at least 5 boreholes, one at the center and 4 at the different corners, right? As you can see in this picture, first picture, right? For talking about the second case, for large multi-story building, the borehole should be drilled at the corners and also at important location. The spacing between boreholes is generally kept between 10 to 30 meter and basically depends on the variation of subsoil conditions and its loading, as you can see in this figure, right? So for a highways, subsurface exploration are usually carried out along the proposed center line or along the proposed ditch line. So the spacing of boreholes usually varies from 150 meter to 300 meter. If the substrata is erratic, the spacing may be reduced to even 30 meter. And and in the case of concrete dams, the spacing of borehole is generally varies between 40 to 80 meter, right? So there are some criteria here fixed, right? For example, if there are large multi-story building, then the distance between borehole is between 10 to 30 meter. For highways, the spacing of boreholes is varies from 150 meter to 300 meter. And in case of concrete dams, the spacing between the boreholes is varies from 40 to 80 meter, right? So next is the next topic is the stages in subsoil exploration. So there are basically three types of stages. First one is reconnaissance, second is preliminary exploration, and third one is a detail exploration, right? So for in reconnaissance, site reconnaissance is a first step in subsoil exploration program. So basically, for subsoil exploration program, there are three methods to find out. First one is reconnaissance, second is preliminary exploration, and detail exploration, right? So in site reconnaissance is the basically first step, right? So it includes visits to the site by a geological engineer and to study the maps and other relevant records. So it helps in deciding the future program of the site investigation, scope of work, method of exploration to be adopted, types of samples to be taken, and laboratory testing and in situ testing, right? I think you better understand that because many of you visit the building site or different types of structures, right? So as you can see that the main purpose is the to visit the site by a geological engineer. For what purpose? To study the maps or other relevant records and helps in designing the future either is expansion or either is a designing purpose or whatever reason, right? They are also helps in deciding the scope of work, the what are the methods of exploration to be adopted uh, according to the different types of structures, what are the type of samples to be chosen or taken from the site, and what are the lab experiment, what are the laboratory testings are done in that type of site. Either it's in situ testing or either in a laboratory testing, right? So basically a geological engineer makes a visit for the site, and because of the careful visual inspection, right? So there are some features obtained in reconnaissance, which is first one is a general topography of the site, the existence of drainage ditches, dumps of debris, and the sanitary fields. The second one is existence of settlement cracks in the structure already built near the site, right? Third one is a stratification of soils as observed from deep cuts, the evidence of landslides, shrinkage cracks, the location of high flood marks on the nearby bridges and buildings, the depth of groundwater table as observed in the wells, existence of springs, swamps, etc. near the site, drainage pattern of existing at the site, the type of vegetations existing at the site, and existence of underground water mains, power conducts, etc. at the site. So mainly these all are the features which is obtained in reconnaissance. Basically, means mostly existence at the site, right? Mainly depends on the what are the existence at the site here, right? So, in addition to making site visit, geological engineers should study geological maps, aerial photograph, soil maps, and blueprints of the existing buildings. Right. So, the study of map gives a lots of information about the geological characteristics of the area, right? So you can understand that the first stage of soil subsoil exploration is reconnaissance, and it mainly involves geological engineer which visit the site and check the different criterias, right, and observe lot many things surrounding the area and also and at that site. So and put up some soil at different locations, and the testing which is in either in laboratory or also in the situ testing, right, inside testing. Second one is preliminary exploration. So the main aim of preliminary exploration is to determine the depth, thickness, extent, and composition of each soil stratum at the site. So the depth of the bedrock and the groundwater table is also determined, right? So preliminary exploration are in the form of few borings or test pits. So the taste what are the taste are taken in or considered in preliminary exploration. So which is first one is a con penetratometers and surround and sounding rods, which helps in obtaining the information about the strength and compressibility of the soil. So geophysical methods are also used in a preliminary exploration for locating boundaries of different strata, right? And at the last is detailed exploration. Though the main aim of this exploration is to determine the engineering properties of the soil in different strata, right? It includes extensive boring program, sampling, and testing of the samples in a laboratory. The field tests such as Van shear test, plate load test, permeability test are conducted to determine the properties of soil in natural state, right? And also important for important project which is heavy structures such as dams, bridges, multi-story buildings, etc. So it is essential to have a detailed exploration. However, for small project, especially at sites where the strata are uniform and detailed explorations are not required. right? So we stop our lecture here. If you have any confusion about this or any query related to this topic, so freely contact me for regarding this chapter or the or any topic, right?